Oh, you've been gone for a while and you still, okay. Mhm. Bought stuff. But, right. Bought stuff. Ah, okay. Yeah. Just checking for sure. Yeah. All right. Show's going to start in a minute or two, 3 minutes. So I'm going to let you go. You want to show up here in about a half hour. All right. All right, love. Love you. Talk to you in a bit. See you in 30. Okay. Bye, babe. Love you. Okay. So what happens is people like to call me while I'm trying to, let's see here. Okay. 2 more minutes to check it out, man. Looking for tickler. RS tickler. A tickler file. Sometimes it has some funny things in here. I will be with you shortly. No music today. I didn't grab it long enough. By the time I set it up, let's see. Some of these might be repeats, my little funnies that I come up with. And I think I've done that one. I used to be a coffee aficionado. All right, getting ready. All right, we're going to start my show in just moments. Oh, there I am. Let's see if I can do. There we go. There we go. All right, got my curly hair today, all curly. And this is most things hypnosis. And when I say most things, things that may or may not have anything to do with hypnosis or hypnotherapy. And I'll get started in about a minute. Okay, hi everyone, it's 5 o'clock. This is Live at 5. My name is Isla Brock. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and you are watching Most Things Hypnosis. It's just a weekly live podcast I do, and you never know what I'm going to talk about. Could be something of significance or something not so significant. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a runny nose. I don't know if it's allergies or what the deal is. And then I like to start my show with just kind of a little bit of a but first, something funny or humorous or something profound or thought-provoking or whatever. So let's talk about onions, right? No, I'm not going to talk about onions because that was stupid. People often talk about this is going to be a little bit along the lines we talk about today. They talk about their limit, they'll say things that are what's called a limiting belief. And a limiting belief is, I'm not good enough, or um, I'm not worthy, I have no value, I don't deserve, blah, blah, blah. And it could be further from the truth. If we weren't good enough, then why did God give us life? Or whatever you believe in. So, and also understand we don't have to be perfect, because we don't even understand perfect. We don't understand what perfect is. We will never understand perfect until we meet our maker. And even then, we came from human form. So will we ever understand what perfection is? We just know what's right and put things in order. Is this watch perfectly made? Perfect for it, but perfect? I don't know. Maybe there are some little glimpses into maybe something's a little off. I don't know. But and it doesn't perfectly fit. And my nails are not in perfect shape, whatever. But when we are talking about a belief that you think is true and you wish it wasn't, also known as limiting beliefs, ask yourself, why would you believe that? Where did that come from? Where did a thought that you weren't good enough come from? Where would something like that come from? And I think that we want safety in our lives. We want to feel safe and secure with people that are around us. We want to feel safe and secure just where we go and who we're with. That was one of the things when I was raising my kids and they wanted to go out with their buddies or whatever. I didn't have a problem with that. Where are you going? Who are you with? What are you going to do? Where are you going to be? And when are you going to be back? They had to come up with those answers and then live by those answers. But I loved it when they wanted to have, anytime we had a social at the house or whatever. I liked it at my house. So, my mother got us a pool table for my kids. And so we have a beautiful, beautiful pool table in the garage. And a lot of fellowships at my house during the years. I like things at my house so that I can keep track of what's going on. I can keep, what's happening with kids and stuff. Once a year, my daughters and I would, now my ex-husband, but at the time, their father and my son would go camping with the boys at a men's camping trip, and my daughters and I, they would be gone Thursday through Saturday night. And so they'd leave like Thursday afternoon. So Friday night, I would have a ladies and girls slumber party. So we would just have a great time. Bunch of pizza and junk food and just chick flicks and stuff. And just, bring a sleeping bag and sleep anywhere. So we always had a good time with that. I'm going to actually change this so I can sit back. So you are good enough for where you're at. But I want to talk about my notes here. Always with the notes. Well, I try to script my shows before they actually happen. Again, that light. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I learned last night, but there's an author, his name is Brian Tracy, and he's an ultimate goal-setting genius, if you will. Some of the things I think is profound that he says, some of the things I don't always agree with, but I took a bunch of notes on goal setting. And one of the things he says is to help you with your goals, write them down. Otherwise, they're just a wish. It's not actually a goal. So I have this cool book. It's called Law of Attraction Planner. And Law of Attraction could be another fancy word for prayer. And I can go, and it's a whole other topic I'm not going to go into right now. But in here it has, make your goals. So I started writing these a couple of years ago, and I got to 14 in here. And then a couple of days ago, I actually got to 60 different goals. Anything that was the goal. Go sort through my laundry, my clothes, not my laundry, but my clothes, sort through my clothes. I have it's a house converted into an office. So I have a very big room, which when it was a house probably was the living room. And then 4 offices, probably at one point were bedrooms. So I've rented one out. I use one and I'm renting another one out, and I still have a fourth one, and then I have a lobby. Anyway, my fourth one is just been storage. And so one of my goals is to get that room set up to be used as an office. So I can either rent it out or I can start using it, whatever. I don't know yet, but it has a porch off its back. So I haven't decided yet how to, but I have a lot of furniture I need to move back. Anyway, but that's beside the point. But writing your goals down. You write down 100 goals, according to Tracy, and you should be able to achieve a bunch of them in a year. My thing is, I don't know how that happens unless you work your goals. You got to work them. So you write down maybe 12 goals. Excuse me, I keep moving everything. Write down 12 goals, just 12 goals that you want to accomplish. Say this is July, so by the end of the year, 12 things. You can write down 20 things or 30 things, but try to start with 12. And then out of that 12, pick two, maybe one or two that you really want to work on. And on it, and you have to use pen and paper. On a separate piece of paper, write down the goal, one of those goals, and then write, maybe if you picked two, write it on another piece of paper. But while you have the most important one on that piece of paper, you're going to write down every aspect of that goal that'll help you achieve it. Everything. Just start writing down absolutely anything and everything, any way, which whatever. If the goal for me, organizing and cleaning up my back room, it's like putting all the supplies in the supply closet, putting my bookshelves up, and putting all of my books on my bookcases, taking all of my decor, putting it up in the attic, throwing away trash, whatever. All the I have several boxes of paper that needs to get filed. So that has to go into file cabinets. And I do have a little desk in there. So what do I want to do with that desk? I want to keep it in there. Do I want to sell it? Where do I want it? And then, so I've got this hierarchy of things that need to get done. So I'll just list it all out, things that need to get done in that room. That's what I'm going to work on. And even if I don't get it, it's probably 2 full days worth of work in there is my guess, because there's furniture moving and cleaning and stuff like that. So I've written down these goals to kind of get to that. Another goal I have is being able to write client notes a little bit better than I do. I do write down notes, every client. I always have notes. I have a file, and I'm pretty good about keeping my files up as far as what's in them. But I need to remember, go back and look it over and make notes again, after the client leaves. So a friend of mine taught me to treat my notes as if they were a separate client. So that might be a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, Tracy talks about looking at perspectives, your long-term perspectives. And when I was in a class last night, even the content provider, inspirational speaker, his name's Tony Robbins, not a real fan, but he has said a few things. He says your past does not equal your future. And talking about the actual science behind how the brain works with memory and thought and goals, etc. So how do you become fulfilled in your desires? How does that happen? Well, answered prayer or goal setting, or whatever it is you want to call it. Refusing to let anything in your mind that doesn't need to be. I think there's a Philippians 4:8 talking about keeping things lovely and kind and true, thinking on those things. And you can define what lovely, kind, and true mean to you. But keeping those positive thoughts, basically, that's what it's saying. Keep your thoughts positive, pure. And anytime something that isn't that gets into your mind, you need to dismiss it. And when you dismiss it, you're creating a new neurology, a new synapse, a new neuro-linguistic language in your mind. I'm not going to think about things that aren't lovely, true. I'm not going to think about, I'm going to be positively thinking. And when you're in your mind positively thinking, anything that isn't that is a counterfeit. And therefore you can dismiss the negative. We put so much energy, and it is scientifically proven. Our energy is at least 5 to 6 feet out in front of us. And how far apart did we have to be during the pandemic? Yeah, 6 feet. Well, there's some logic behind that, because you don't get into each other's space at 6 feet. So when there's this kind of energy being put off, and you've been around people that just don't have good energy, or they're just not, there's not a positive, I don't know, you just kind of feel ick. I mean, I met up with somebody at the office last night, and I was not thrilled. I wasn't happy with that. So it's like my spirit wasn't bearing witness with theirs, kind of thing. I'm kind, I'm not going to be mean to anybody, but that's just what happened. So then, so just knowing that goal setting, going back to goal setting, and what we think about, is absolutely what's before us and what we attract and what comes into our lives. So you can keep thinking about the past, and your past will stay in your present. But wouldn't you like your present and your future to be kind of commingled to the point where your future is becoming your present? That means you have to let go of the past. 2 weeks ago, because I didn't have a show last week, 2 weeks ago, I discussed about going through the space that's meant, you have an opportunity, a window, a door, it's open, of opportunity, and going through it, but you're trying to take everyone and everything that you love and hold dear through that opportunity with you, when it was only meant for you to go through. It wasn't meant for anybody else. And the fear is, and hey, I'm preaching to the choir here, is if I go through that opportunity, will what I love and what I have still be there? Will I lose them? And I answered that question. I know, just because I'm going into an opportunity alone, because I needed that learning, because I needed to know what that was. I wrote it down. It's a goal. I want to do the goal. So in order for me to do this goal, I got to do that. Windows of opportunity start to open up. Just going through it. But it's some lady content provider, she put it, we're not everyone's 911. Well, we shouldn't be everyone's 911. It's not our job. Our job is to, years ago, I had a family daycare center at my house. It was a licensed daycare center. And I had 2 rules. This is bearing true everywhere I go. If you take care of people, then you take care of things. That's it, just those 2 rules, and it encompasses everything else. Take care of people and take care of things, and you're gonna be fine. But sometimes we find it difficult to do that. We gotta get into people's space and businesses, and business. So when you're going to take in a goal, you got to start writing down some ideas and looking out for, when you're writing the goal down and all the elements to it, if you have any limiting beliefs about it. Blue sky thinking. What would you have to have this happen? What do I need to have happen for me to have this happen? Or for me to have this created for my future? So this is what I want in my future. What has to happen for that future to happen? I know it sounds crazy, but you can feature, it's called reverse engineering your goals. And I just love that concept. And there's no compromise. Your goals, they are your goals, and they are powerful, and you don't have to overstep get your boundaries overstepped, I should say, and you don't need to compromise your boundaries to get to somebody else's goals. Don't do that. Not a recommendation. I can't tell you what to do. So business, imagine in your career, a perfect career 5 years from now into the future. What would that look like? What would you be doing? Where would you be doing that career? Is your work life perfect, enjoyable? Who would you be working with? Would you be working by yourself? Would you be in your own business? What level of responsibility would you have? What kind of skills and abilities do you have? Or do you need to have what it is you're looking for in the future? What kind of goals would you need to accomplish in order to get the perfect career? Is there education that you need to look at? Is there the training? What if your work life was so perfect? At what level of status or position would you have in your field of expertise? And I was looking, I'm a hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist, and really I'm at the top of the food chain, and I'm my own business. Unless somebody comes in and hires me, I'm not working for anybody. I'm working for myself, I'm working for my clients. There are no limits, so don't underestimate what you can accomplish in a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, or a 5-year plan. You have what it takes. And so you have maybe your ideal financial life. Maybe it's doubling your income between this year and next year. Look at different opportunities that you can consider to actually do that. Write them down, even if they don't really happen or they're so far-fetched. It's okay, write them down. You'll learn which ones to cross off and which ones not to. And just be, let's see, I want to be 5 years from today. How much do you want to do this career? And how badly do you want that 5 years from today? And what are you doing? If you're the kind of person that says, I want, a good paying job and abundance, a house, a family, I want all these things, but you stay up till 2 a.m. and you sleep until 10 or 11 and you play video games and you eat junk food. How much of what you're going to want, if you're not doing anything, what do you have to bring to the table for yourself? So are you kicking butt and taking names? Are you really working it? There's that TV movie, not TV, it's a movie called Greater, and it's about a kid in high school who wanted to be on a football team on the Razorbacks. And I highly recommend watching that movie called Greater. And it's a true story, and it's funny, it's adventurous, it's sad, it's enlightening, it's empowering, it's inspiring. And this kid, he had a goal that turned into little mini goals, but he worked it. He worked that goal and all the elements of it to get to be on the Razorback football team. And so you can watch his story and be inspired as well. He didn't let anything stand in his way, and nobody was going to outwork him. He was going for it all the way. Okay, so here, how much do you want to be earning in 5 years? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? And what kind of home do you want? And what kind of a car do you want to drive? And what material luxuries do you want to provide for yourself, for your family? How much do I want to have in the bank? How much money do I want to have in the bank in 1 year, in 5 years? How much do I want to be saving each month, each year? Actual cash. And then what the percentage of interest is on top of that. So life lived inside out has value. Inside out, the inside shows will show itself on the outside, what's going on the inside. That's a biblical proverb. As man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I forgot which proverb it's in there. How much do you want to be? How much do you want to be worth when I retire? Oh, I'm reading my own chicken scratch. How much do you want to be worth when you retire? Actual liquid cash upon retirement. The perfect family life. Who would I be with? Well, I did meet the man of my dreams. So living standards, relationships, relationships within others. How do I do this relationship thing? It's been a challenge. How social life indeed, what does social life look like for you? Am I an action-oriented person, or are you sedentary? Are you always, I'm always moving. You know, if I have to sit too long, my feet swell. So I'm always moving. I love it when I can just either watch it. If I have to chop up a lot of vegetables, I will, and then I can be watching a movie at the same time. Or there was something on TV last week. I had a couple of friends over to my office. It's just a real comfortable place to entertain. And there was a movie going, and I was just getting antsy. It's getting boring, and it's an old movie. And like, so I just started putzing around the office, taking the trash out, dusting things off, fixing this, closing that, you know, packing up my stuff, ready to go home after the movie, that kind of thing. So being very specific about what you get, because you're being very clear and very specific, and it has to be reasonable. They just had a $1 billion jackpot in the lottery here in California, and one ticket won it, which great, and I'm happy for them. But you know, the chances of them being broke in 3 years is good, unless they can handle that kind of. I highly recommend. Oh, that person really needs to get some good insight, people they trust. Be a person with value, lots of value. My highest value is kindness, because from kindness, everything else just kind of filters down. Compassion and love and gratefulness and just desire to help people along. Kindness. Have a hierarchy of your values. What are your values? And make sure what you're doing is actionable, and that you have the opportunity to measure it as well. Measure what you get to have a goal for. Let's see, my notes also important to your life. Be congruent in your life, keeping things congruent. So if your life is sideways, then figure out why and bring yourself back to front ways. Last week, my boyfriend came up to me and said, "Are you okay? You seem a little off." And I had been a little off. I don't know if I still am. I think I'm more tired than anything. But anyway, so I just did a little soul searching, and voila, figured out that I was just really stressed over the idea to let go of everything and everyone, to go through the space by myself and come out on the other side thinking no one's going to be there. But they are all going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Whether they want to stick around is none of my business. Hopefully they do, but if they don't, I just can shrug my shoulders. Okay, I'll dig it. Maybe the usefulness of each other is done. Are you afraid of experiencing joy? And then looked at and asked if my inward beliefs are in harmony with my outward actions and my voice. Sometimes if they're not in line with each other, you're going to get a contradictive response. So we'll not be able to move forward. So yeah, so that's pretty much it on that note. Remembering the past doesn't equal the future, and there are processes that we have to help us learn our resources. So maybe you don't want to feel the emotion, or maybe you're in denial, you want to suppress the emotion that you don't want to feel, but you can ignore it and just let it be, but just be conscious of it. And as you're being conscious of what's there, you can still be just letting it do its job. Let those emotions flood and escape, flood and escape. Let them do that. Because if you're stopping them, then they just go back and they suppress, and it can be a little bit harder for you to make that happen. All right, I'm gonna let you go, as I'm going to Lowe's. I'm gonna go help build myself a little storage cabinet. I have a cabinet for storage. This is a law of attraction planner. Highly recommend. It's 30 days. It's got a lot of information in it, how to help you. The last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read, by Andrew Capp. I did get to interview him a couple years ago. He's a brilliant mind. He just came out with another book. I don't remember what it is now, but I'm going to get it. So I always start with Kindle, since or Audible. I start with one or the other. I have both of those, so my credits will help me get what I need. what I want or whatever. So I'll go to the Kindle or the Audible, listen or read it. If I like it, then if it's on my Audible, I want the Kindle. If it's on the Kindle, I also want the Audible. If I can get those two, then I'm going to want the hard copy. So I ended up with a hard copy because, well, probably several. I bought this like 5 or 6 times because I keep giving them away. I usually buy about 7 or 8 of these so far, and that because I keep selling those. They're just a really good planner if you work them. My name is Isla Brock. I am a certified hypnotherapist, and I have many, many modalities that I'd be happy to help you with. To just if you are interested in just discussing your situation, you can even go to my website at centralvalleyhypnotherapy.com and just look up and see who I am and what I'm about. I'm in Visalia, California, and you can also reach me on Zoom. Take care, everyone. I look forward to next week and to another exciting show. Don't fall asleep. Anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. If you like, reach out, contact me. My address is there on YouTube. It might be over here, but I'm on Zoom right now. And I look forward to meeting